And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, my name's Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Trapwords. Trapwords is a party-style game from CG Games. They're not necessarily known for making their party games. They've made a few, though, that have been fun. Pictomania and Bunny Bunny Moose Moose. But this one here is kind of a team versus team style game in which you are trying to get someone to guess things, that's a lot of games like that, without saying the trap words that your opposing team has written down. This is all set in a dungeon theme. You're going through a dungeon here trying to get and defeat the final monster, but that theme is merely trappings that are placed upon what is actually just a straight up party game. Here's how it plays. You're going to build a row of 5 rooms, and the starting one you'd build them from 3 to 7, but they also have 1 and 2 and 8, 9, and 10. You can put them in any order you want to. Some of the rooms will have traps placed in them, and then you're going to pick a big bad guy that you'll fight at the end. Now, players are going to have some books here, and you're going to put some cards in these books, and one person on your team is going to be the clue giver, and they're going to have this word here. So here we have the word lumberjack. You know, depending on how you put the words in here, they're going to be different. You're going to pick one of your words. The other team is going to look at the word. So the whole other team will look at the word that you are trying to get your team to guess. So here's penguin. They then are going to write down trap words based on the number of the room that you are currently in. So starting off at room 3. So on a sheet of paper here, they'll write down 3 trap words. So I might write Antarctica, bird, and black. All right? You can only write down nouns, adjectives, verbs, and numbers. You can't write down anything that's like very common, like a preposition or, you know, things like that. So then once they've written these words down, then I'm going to give my team clues. I can say anything I want as long as I follow an extremely exhaustive list of legal clues. Like you can't say any form of this word, you can't give examples. If it's dog, you can't say Dalmatian, for example. Can't use proper names or proper adjectives. It must be about the meaning of the word, not how it sounds. You can't use blah, 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 lots of rules. So you say that, but here's the thing. You are trying not to say the trap words that the other team wrote down. Now, you don't know what those trap words are, but if I said penguin, I'm like, I bet they said black and white. Maybe they said Antarctica. All right, so I'll say it's a furry mammal who lives down south, very cute, often featured in movies where they like to dance, or whatever it might be. Eventually, I'll hopefully get my team to get it, but my team has 5 guesses. If they guess 5 guesses incorrectly, we lose. If I say any of the trap words that were written down, so if I say it's a black and white, boom, then I'm out, because black was one of the ones that they wrote down. So then we don't get any points that round. Then it's their turn to do the same thing, the other team's turn. If either team successfully guesses the word, they'll move forward. If not, the monster moves forward 1 spot. And so your goal is to win the game. When in the monster spot you do that, you win. However, the monster will have a special ability. In this case, your team can only make 3 guesses, not 5. Also, when you're in a room with a curse, you will draw that curse card, and it says once you're done making a list of trap words, the other team's clue giver names a number. The word with that number must be crossed off your list. Your clue giver must give the clue in only 1 breath. I haven't seen this one yet. All right, so those go off the first time you attempt a word in that room. So eventually someone is going to get it right in the room where the monster is, and when that happens, that team wins. If both teams do it, then there's a tiebreaker until only one team wins. And that's how you play. I do like the artwork on the rooms. You know, as you look in here, you can see different monsters and things that are in the rooms. It doesn't really matter, but it's just kind of a neat, nice addition to the game. The monsters themselves are like, you know, silly looking monsters. And then the card words, there's a lot more words in this game that have to do, and it's going to depend on the holes that come in here, but there's like warrior, there's a lot of words that actually are very much vampire, very much to the fantasy realm. Samurai, Not every word, leprechaun, but there's words like democracy and things like that. Some words are just going to naturally be harder than others as you go through these. But the way they have the books done, it is kind of neat how you put it in the book here. And so I have the word whisper, but this actually could be 4 words. It could also be cavity, jaw, or dodo. So that's neat how the books work. These sheets are fine. They work well. The game comes with 2 pencils and a pencil sharpener, not something often done, and a timer too. A timer if the timer runs out before your team has guessed 5, you won't get any points that way either. Overall, the components are fine. So Trapwords is an interesting game. It really is. There's some fascinating things about trying to give clues without giving the words that you think the other team wrote down. But there's a couple problems. One of them is that the fantasy trappings, I believe, don't really help the game. Sure, there's a theme, you're going through a dungeon, and there's traps and a monster and all. The problem is that, combined with the fact that a lot of words are RPG, makes me think the audience shrinks down some. If I bring this to a family gathering, for example, and I say, hey, we're playing Trapwords, and you're going through a dungeon, and whoop, half of the room is already not interested. A party game is a party game, right? I don't know that it needs to have this theme thrown on top of it. It could have just been called Trapwords without that fantasy setting on top of it. Now, the fantasy setting's not too bad. You can get over it, but still having grandma try to give the word for troll might not be as easy as it sounds. Now, of course, you don't have to do those words, but Problem number 2, the words are wildly uneven. Some words are way easier to get people to guess than others. If I have the word betrayal, that's a little bit maybe harder to get someone to guess than pizza. Just really. Now, you can argue that the trap words are easier to write for pizza, but Thirdly, I am not a big fan of where the very first word that someone shouts out is one of the trap words and boom, round's over. So we spent all that time writing these trap words down. And by the way, it's kind of a weird way. Everyone's writing trap words down. You don't really talk, but you're just writing them down. You're supposed to pass paper around and everyone writes down a trap word or 2. But if someone just shouts it out, it just feels like the whole round was kind of a waste to do. And then the most the most judgmental thing against this game really is that there already exists a game called Banned Words, which really does everything trap words should do better. It's the exact same thing. And by the way, it came out first, if I can understand correctly. You have a card of 5 words. You're trying to get your team to guess them. If you shout out one of the words that the other team wrote down, they simply get points. They get points every time you shout out one of those words. So you're trying to avoid giving them points, but you can continue on with the round. And it just has a more free-flowing, fun thing. And I know that we can't really look at games in a vacuum, so Trapwords just is not going to be able to stand up against Banned Words, which is a mass-market good game. Trapwords has that fantasy thing on it, and it has some different things, right? It has the curses and stuff, and that's kind of interesting. Like that one you saw, you have to do the whole thing in one breath. That's kind of interesting, but I don't think it's interesting enough to... It's like there's too many rules, too much going on in this, what is essentially a party game. And that's my biggest concern with Trapwords. Again, I don't dislike the game. I think the game is fine. I will admit to being annoyed when someone shouts out something and the round is over just like that. And that feels unfulfilling. But the idea of writing down words and trying to outthink your opponent, and then you think that, and I knew that you would think that, so now I'm trying to work around and go around the long way. I love that sort of thing. I find that to be really fascinating and interesting, and the concept of Trapwords is really well done. It's just that those points against it knock it down from something that I can approve. So, I don't think you won't have fun playing it. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it, but I'd rather play Banned Words. Dice Tower Judgment, an interesting party game with too many rules.